Hello, everyone. I want to make sure that you can hear me quite well because we are moving into day 3, LinkedIn conversion for clinical research professionals. We're going to talk about what is it going to take for you to see a conversion on the topics that we've talked about today, as far as, visibility, the kind of content you're creating, leadership, thought leadership content. How visible are you? How strong is your content? How credible are you? And how credible is the content that you're putting out that will help lead to conversion? And that's the thing that we are wanting to do. We don't want to just put information out there and it never converts. And a lot of times, some people are worried about it converting. Let's say you're looking at the metrics as far as likes and comments and shares. Yeah, that all, it matters. But at the same time, what's going on in the DMs? That's one of the things that you need to think about. And that's one of the things that you need to be more concerned with. Yes, metrics are good because you need to see what is actually converting. But sometimes you may not see that conversion on your post or sharing and commenting. The most important conversion that you really need to be focused on are your DMs and your emails that are hopefully being bombarded by your ideal avatar, and the conversations that people are trying to start up with you because of what you've been putting out there. That's what matters. Again, if you're building up like an email list, you need to look at that conversions too, because, and we'll get into that later and later on down the road. You want to make sure that whatever email that you're sending out, people are clicking on it, people are opening it up, and then they're actually converting over to either downloading a PDF guide or actually buying whatever services you have to offer. Okay, my name is Alicia Moore, and I am the CEO and founder of Clinical Science Research Solutions. Can't believe I cannot almost say that. And I'm also the founder of I Am Research and Wellness Foundation. Okay, eventually I'm going to have one of those mics that come down and you all won't see this. The structure will be different, but that's in due time. Not worried about that. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. I am pulling up my notes as I usually do. Sometimes I have PowerPoint presentations, sometimes not. It just really depends upon my schedule and what's going on. But I'm worried about what I'm saying, how I'm going to say it, and what I am saying to you, in hopes that you are able to take some nuggets, implement that into your business or into your daily life. And hopefully you can see some results from what I've been teaching. So today's topic is actually, it's not credibility. It is conversion. Sorry, hang on just a second. Oh, here we go. Pulling up my notes. Taking too long. Okay. Again, welcome to day 3 of the LinkedIn multi-million-dollar marketing strategy for clinical research entrepreneurs and or soon-to-be site owners. This is where maybe some individuals fail. Just because which I touched on this, you create content doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be content that's going to convert over into a clientele base or growing your email list. According to what LinkedIn, the platform, tells you to do, I'm going to give you some instructions and a little bit of guidelines on what is important and what the algorithm actually rewards you for. So let's see here. Why does content matter for site owners? Please, you cannot treat LinkedIn like it's Instagram. LinkedIn is more for really busy professionals, business development, authority, content building, visibility, database. And whoever your B2B clients are, your avatars are, they're actually looking for you to show up so they hopefully they're looking to convert themselves because, they're looking for solutions. So you have to ensure that whatever you are delivering is going to help convert them. You're going to be able to convince them naturally that they need what you have because you are going to help solve their pain point. When you actually do this and build it correctly, there's always that trust factor that is at the top of the list. Your area of expertise, whenever you can articulate that very well, that's going to help build trust and credibility. That's something that we talked about yesterday. Having a strong digital footprint is very important. People are going to be able to search for you. The more you keep putting out content, the algorithm or LinkedIn is going to push that content out for people that are actually looking for you. And then partnerships, you'll be able to secure those because now at this point you have developed something, a product, service, or content, and it's solidified. What you don't want to do is blend in with everybody else. If you do it incorrectly, again, whatever products or services, whatever you're trying to teach people, it's not going to convert over very well. Let's talk about how to set up your LinkedIn newsletter. You need to choose a clear content focus. Publish weekly or bi-weekly. I recommend doing weekly, but figure out the cadence that's going to work for you in your busy schedule. That could be bi-weekly. It could be monthly. The type of cover images that you use, it needs to be use 1920 by 1080 cover images. You need to have a crystal clear call to action. Keep your paragraphs short and scannable. Provide actionable services and or advice. It depends upon, it says keep your paragraph short and scannable. I think with every other article or every so many articles, you should do that. But depending upon the kind of topic you're talking about, that may not work because you may need to go into more depth on the topic that you are discussing. And it might be better because if you're skimming through or not skimming through, but if you are writing a LinkedIn newsletter and it seems like it's missing some information, that's not going to convert over very well with your audience either, because they're going to say, well, it seems like there's some pieces missing. I'm not really understanding what's going on here. Conversion structure for site owners. You need to have a hook. Call out the site owner identity. For example, rural site founders. Here's how to position your site for sponsors. So the body of your newsletter, one core insight can state, okay, this is how you position your business for sponsors. And this is how you demonstrate that it's needed or they need you, or this is how you can explain your demographics and where you're located. That way they can understand, like, hey, you are from a rural area. You need to really do a deep dive and explain exactly where you are and why you're trying to open up a clinical research site in a rural area, because it doesn't exist. You need one story and one actionable takeaway. So for example, a call to action could be DM convert for the workbook. It could be like a simple guide as to how to start a clinical research site in a rural area, or book a call. So with your newsletter, you're able to nurture your audience and to let them see that, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is what I have to offer. And the guides or the call to action that I have, you'll be able to actually follow it like a cookbook and implement it in your business, or maybe pass it on to someone else that's looking for a guide like yours. So what it does is it warms up your audience, builds the credibility, something that we talked about yesterday, and it will eventually convert over time. Please do not believe some of these people that get on here and say, well, you know what, you've been posting for 6 months straight and you haven't you should be converting over into a 6-figure income. That is not realistic. And I really believe it's just not realistic. It may depend upon the industry that you're in, but I can tell you right now, in this industry, that's a known. That's not happening. Not unless you get hired on. Well, no, actually, even if you get hired on, let's say the way I did in the beginning, that within a year, I wasn't making six figures. So it's unrealistic to tell people that, they're not doing very well if they're not converting over to a six-figure income. That takes time. So the next format after the newsletters, this is what LinkedIn says about short form videos. You need to hook your people or whoever's watching your video within 3 seconds. We all have a short attention span. And a lot of times, if you are looking at movies or you are on Netflix looking at a commercial, a movie, a trailer, if you're not hooked within those first few seconds, you're not going to, you probably won't even invest in your time into watching it. I mean, that's how I feel whenever it comes to movies, a book, any videos. If you don't have me in the first few seconds, then I'm not interested. Adding subtitles to your short form videos, keeping it 30 to 90 seconds. Adding immediate value, whenever it's that short, you're going to have to find more punchier lines to integrate into those videos, and it's very doable. Add value immediately within the video and use a small call to action at the end. So for example, a conversion structure can look like you're hooked within 3 minutes. You're posting on LinkedIn, but where are the clients? See, that didn't take long to say. 45 minutes. Step number 2, here's the value. You share your insight, sponsor ready content, whatever that may be. Your call to action lasts for 5 seconds. For example, DM convert for the full system. 5 seconds. Your video should trigger some kind of emotional connection with whoever is watching it, because a lot of times people, whenever they're in some kind of an emotional state, buying state, that's how you're able to get them hooked, because now you've tapped into their emotional state. Not that you're trying to take advantage of anybody, but you have to be emotionally drawn to the video. You have to be emotionally drawn to the content, because at some point, if you are, that means it's resonating with you some way, somehow. And that's whenever you know that your content is reaching the audience that it needs to reach. What will happen is people will start reaching out to you saying, you know what, I'm truly inspired. Inspiration is a feeling. It's an emotional connection by what you're doing. Now, I would love to do the same thing. So those are the type of DMs. That's the type of conversion that you want to hear. People they buy the messenger before the message. They look into you, your personality, how you react, maybe even how your hair. Somebody could be relating to you because of they love your hairstyle or your makeup or your haircut, a fade, whatever. Some way, somehow, they're going to be able to relate to you because they see some similarities, or they're just you find them relatable. Could be their personality. So that's another thing you need to tap into and think about. The next format, carousels. I'm not big on creating carousels because I'm the world's worst. I let my marketing team do that. That's what they're there for, and they do it very well. So this is what LinkedIn recommends. Use a strong first slide, one insight per slide, high contrast text, a call to action on the final slide, 5 to 10 slides. So the conversion structure, how you can set it up if you're doing it DIY, doing it yourself. Slide 1 filters the audience. Slides 2 through 8 will teach one insight. Slide 9 includes metrics. Slide 10, a call to action. So the purpose of a carousel is to get saves, shares, and longer dwelling time, all of which signal quality to the algorithm. And if you notice, I don't care what form you're using, there's always and should be a call to action at the end. And that could be like your newsletter. Please subscribe to my newsletter to gain more insights on what I'm doing, building a clinical research site infrastructure in rural Missouri, Sikeston, Missouri, Southeast Missouri, something like that. So let's see here. The next format is the standard LinkedIn post. Again, LinkedIn, they call it content science. There's always a hook. I don't care if it's your short form video, your LinkedIn newsletter, your carousel. You're always, always, always think about the hook that you want to implement, and think about hooks that have, whenever you read or listened to someone, what actually hooked you. So you can use that as a baseline for your ideal avatar. Okay. The first thing is first 2 lines should be your hook. 1 to 2 sentence paragraphs, a clear value. Here we go with at the end, a call to action or a question. Use 3 to 5 hashtags. The tone, professional but accessible. And here is a format. Again, there's always a hook, 3 bullet points, a call to action, a question, maybe to get some engagement on your post, hashtags. Your posts, they help build awareness for your business or who you're trying to cater to. So LinkedIn, let's talk about LinkedIn's algorithm rules. So LinkedIn publicly will reward, or they actually state that the algorithm rewards early engagement within the first hour. So if people read, save, comment, or respond, that content, which I mentioned earlier, actually gets shown to more people. So number 2, it signals quality. So LinkedIn, it checks for your area of expertise or your expertise, the relevance, the clear value, completion rates, whether it's a newsletter, people reading through your newsletter, or people listening to your videos all the way through, your saves and share rates on your carousels, and then again, how long did they actually watch the video? So 3, whenever you are repeating topics, so posting consistently on one topic makes you the go-to authority. You must repeat themes. So one topic, site ownership, and then the themes can be site readiness, PI development, rule feasibility, regulatory visibility, startup guidance, LinkedIn plus AI for site owners. So the algorithm actually learns your expertise, then it pushes your content to people who actually care about those topics. Hold on just a second here. Okay. The next thing to think about or to do is here's a conversion checklist for today. The LinkedIn conversion checklist to keep in mind. For newsletters, you need 1 topic, 1 call to action, 1 story, published weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. As I said, I recommend weekly because it helps grow your subscribers list quite actually faster. For your videos, you need a hook. Actually, to me, for your newsletters, videos, carousels, posts, they all need hooks. Again, for the video, you need the hook, the value, the call to action, subtitles. For your carousels, you need the filter, 1 insight per slide, and a bold call to action on the final slide. For your posts, here we go, same common theme. You need a hook, 3 bullet points, a call to action, and 3 to 5 hashtags. For your entire brand, you need to stay consistent. You need to find a niche that you know for a fact that's who you're wanting to serve, and stay in the authoritative space. If you want to learn the exact conversion workbook, and I'm going to eventually create some templates. I've got something coming down the pipeline. I can't wait. Not just a template. And if you're wanting to learn how to become a site owner, and I keep forgetting to mention that earlier, please email me at I am research and well, no, I did that again. I am for health at gmail.com. You guys, I have way too much going on. Here you go. And I want you to comment below. What's the one thing that you want to do to stay in that authoritative figure, what do you want to create? Are you going to be consistent with your newsletters? Are you going to be consistent with short form videos, long form videos, going live, carousels? You don't have to do all of them. You need to pick one and become great at it and then move on to the next. And to me, in my opinion, I think once you gain your momentum and feel out what's going to be comfortable for you, then you could probably do 3 because they're all going to be in alignment. And I say that because with this masterclass or any masterclass or any type of webinar that you do, the video can be turned into a LinkedIn newsletter. And your video can actually be repurposed for short form videos. And also you can take your 30 to 60, 90-minute videos and do like an intro to your masterclass. So there are different ways of doing it, but I feel like my strong suits are videos, LinkedIn newsletters, and not carousel, but the LinkedIn posts. I like those the best. And I actually prefer to do videos over typing on LinkedIn. I mean, sometimes I know everybody that's following me, you've seen me type, some things on LinkedIn, but honestly, I prefer to do videos because I think they're a lot better. You can convey what you have to say a lot easier and people can feel your energy a lot better. They can see it. They can hear your passion. Okay. Let's see here. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about monetization. So, visibility, credibility. Today was conversions. And then the fourth thing that everybody is always looking for and looking to do is to monetize on your area of expertise. So we're going to finish this week out strong. Comment below on what you want to hear on my evergreen content. Follow me on my social media platform. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you tomorrow. Ciao.